Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Rambler Park in Regina, Saskatchewan at the North American Indigenous Games softball venue. With me I have
Evan Tapetat from Kakwishtau First Nation.
My name is Lyle Daniels and I'm from the Kwakatus First Nation. We are your commentators for this afternoon's game between Team Saskatchewan and Team Yukon, who are going to be playing in some wonderful weather today. Very warm, very humid, very muggy. A little bit of wind, but it looks like both of these teams are ready to go. A little bit of time delay because we needed the last game to finish, but looks like we're ready to go now.
Yeah, we're just waiting to see who the home team is. They do the draw, coin flip at home plate there, and Saskatchewan having a record of 1 win, 1 loss, and Yukon having a record of 0 wins, 2 losses, and it looks like Yukon is the home team coming up. So once we get our rosters in from Yukon, we'll go over that, but right now we'll go over Team Saskatchewan's batting lineup. So leading off for them is going to be number 11, Trent Ermine. Batting second is going to be Riley Sear. Batting third is going to be left fielder Wasey Strong Eagle. Batting cleanup, your pitcher for today, Cayman George from Chapoys First Nation. Batting fifth is going to be your second baseman, Dimitri Constant. Batting sixth is going to be Landon Delorme. We have an interesting story about Landon coming up a little bit later. Batting seventh is going to be Caden Mendez. Batting eighth is going to be Dwight Pategan. And batting ninth from the Sagame First Nation, your first baseman, Albert Isaac. Subs for Team Saskatchewan are going to be Highland Putra, Lane Constant, Riley Matthew, Kirk Bear, and Nick McLeod. Your home plate umpire today is Brendan Moat, and your man on the bases is going to be Tyler Blanken.
So Evan, the technology that we have nowadays is able for us to be able to wire up the umpires. So every once in a while you'll hear some interaction between umpires, between players. You know, sometimes just a little bit of banter back and forth between them and whoever might be batting or catching.
Yeah, it was interesting to listen to the other day because you know, you always see the negative when players coaches are mad at umpires, and you never see it the other way. And our umpires were complimenting the players and talking about what kind of nice pitches they had and the score of the game, and they were encouraging players and asking them where they're from. So it's nice to see the umpires, and it's nice that we can hear what they're saying. So we'll give you some of that at home. Before we get going here, I think Lyle and myself have a little bit of social media stuff we like to do here. So before we get going, if you're sitting at home, sitting somewhere in this beautiful Turtle Island country of ours, if you want a shout out on Twitter, by all means add myself. I'm Kak Canuck, KAHKANUCK. That's my Twitter handle. And Lyle's, I'll let you say yours.
Mine is Lyle W. Daniels so they do the little @ thing, and then Lyle W. Daniels. Give us a tweet or add us or give us a shout out or give us a tweet, and we'll make sure we get a shout for your community anywhere you might be listening to this game this afternoon.
Okay, so we go with our game. On the mound, your starting battery for Yukon. Pitching is Tyler Charlie, and his catcher is Brent Skugum. There's a nice single by leadoff batter Ermine, getting himself to second base. Left fielder having a little bit of trouble right now. And Ermine into third base with a leadoff triple. I think we'll score that as a single and maybe an error on the left fielder.
Looks like Yukon is still trying to get their bearings. People need to be aware back home and or wherever you might be watching this game. Yukon, first time they've played in the games, first time they've fielded a softball team, and they are looking good. They've had this is their third game. They lost their first game 19-1. They had a close one for their second game, 16-13, and now they take on what I think is a powerhouse when it comes to men's softball with Team Saskatchewan.
Yeah, Yukon definitely will have their work cut out for them here, but nonetheless, they got one out there, so they're heading in the right direction. I was listening to one of the Yukon coaches talk earlier, and I think they hit a few home runs there in the 16-13 game, so they can definitely, once they get their hands on those bats, I think they'll be just fine.
Anytime you see offense, you want to see them batting, and I'm looking forward to it.
I want to see the long ball.
Yeah. You know, looking at both Northwest Territories and even the pitcher from the Yukon, they look pretty sharp. They look pretty composed, and looks like they've been doing this for a while.
Ball. Speaking of the long ball, the guy on deck for Saskatchewan, Cayman George, he hit a long home run last night. Fences here about 250 straight away. He hit it about 252.
Kind of against the wind as well, eh?
Irvine comes in sliding home safe, putting Saskatchewan up by 1 early on.
What's up, Boise? Good to see you, buddy. You having a good weekend?
Right now we can hear the home plate umpire talking to the batter, asking if he had a good week so far batting and things like that. So that's a little more of that behind the scenes stuff that the fans at home don't really get to hear or see.
A little bit of off-speed pitch there for number 88 from Yukon, Tyler Charlie. Coming from Pelly Crossing and is a northern Shoshone.
All four.
YC Strong Eagle earns himself a walk over to first base, bringing in the bat from Ochapowace, Cayman George. Cayman is one of my young little buddies from Ochapowace. He plays for the fastball team that I play for, so he can definitely hit the ball. And he's not bad on the pitching mound either.
Little high pitch advancing the runner from first to second.
Cayman attends Notre Dame at Athol Murray and Wolfcock, Saskatchewan. He's also kind of a rough and tumble D-man. So he plays a little bit of hockey, a little bit of fastball. That's
on the plate.
Just a long strike for Cayman there. Count is 1 ball, 1 strike on Cayman George. Pitcher Charlie in the circle there seems to be having a rough time finding his composure, but if he can bring the ball down a little bit, one of the things with fastball is if you can put the ball down and let your infielders, outfielders do their thing, that's what you really want.
So I haven't taken a look at the weather today. 26 degrees right now. Feels like 33 with the humidity. Wind coming from the south at 22 kilometers. So if somebody's going to hit it out, it's going to be right into the 22-kilometer wind.
Came in with a nice cut there. Wacy on third base. Strong Eagle, where that's safe from the Pasco area.
Yep, absolutely. Fort Capel around that area.
2 strikes. Ball.
3 balls, 2 strikes on Cayman George batting.
2 strikes.
Cayman earns his base, bringing to the plate Dimitri Constant. Just got a quick tweet here from my good friend Caleb Isaac out in Whitewood, Saskatchewan. Him and his father-in-law, Staff Sergeant Stewart, one of our fine RCMP members. They're out building a fence in Whitewood, Saskatchewan. So hi Cayman, and hi Staff Sergeant Stewart. Me and Staff Sergeant had the opportunity to meet each other a couple winters ago when I was working for Ochapowace, and a little bit of when they were handing out some of that hard-earned money they earned. So hello out there in Whitewood, Caleb. Don't work too hard. God forbid you do that.
Ball.
Make it storm for sure, eh?
Oh. At least kill him. Two balls, no strikes on Dimitri Constant. Nice little change up there. Cayman takes second on the stolen base. Saskatchewan sitting pretty with runners at second and third.
2 balls, 1 strike.
Coach J.J. Johnson for Saskatchewan down the third base line there. He's actually a basketball referee at the NAIG games right now, too.
Ball.
Also champion U of S football player. Yeah, national
wide receiver back in his day. Dimitri walks, loading the bases, bringing 2 back. Landon Delorme. I think you have an interesting story about Landon.
Well, the North American Indigenous Games, of course, is something that is exciting for people, but for Landon, it's kind of special. 4 o'clock this morning, Landon became a father, having his girlfriend having a baby early this morning. So he probably hasn't had very much sleep, but I'm sure now he's ready to play. And I always find that great stories when we talk about things like that.
Time. This has nothing to do with that.
Scores a run there.
When you're setting up.
While we're waiting for our next batter, just give a shout out to my good friend Clayton Hat Rockless Swiss, listening down in the buff.
Okay.
Hat Rock's down there listening. And the Buff boys are enjoying the Access 7 broadcasts and the commentary. So Hat Rock, you down there don't work too hard as well, all right? We don't need any storm up this way, so you and the Buff boys put those tools down and just kind of watch the broadcast, eh? Kick your feet up, a couple cold ones, and just
like they usually do.
Well, like they usually do in the Buff, you know. Anyway, how are you down there, Hat Rock, Standing Buffalo, First Nation?
2 balls.
Now on pitcher's mound here, young Charlie's having a hard time finding his strike zone. Change-up, he's got a little change-up going for him there. So far, 2 runs in for Saskatchewan in the top of the first inning. Pass ball brings Cayman Georgian. Dimitri over to third. Landon over to second. Caden Mendez up to bat. Caden was over here earlier helping us. One of the things with announcing is sometimes you see some names that you're supposed to announce, and I really dislike when the announcers butcher the last names and things like that. So Caden was over here helping us, making sure I said Dagan.
And of course, we have some interesting sounding names and communities in Yukon. So
well, I'll let Lyle handle that.
I got some teachings from the Yukon people to be able to say things properly, I hope. And for you people back home in the Yukon who are able to watch this online, by all means, send us a tweet and we'll make sure we get a shout out to anybody that sends us either a follow or a tweet to us.
So we got a visitor over here, Lyle.
Yeah.
Saskatoon Tribal Council.
Right on.
Journey of the Res Dog.
Journey of the Res Dog.
Right now.
My goodness, very nice to meet you, sir.
Journey.
17 for 96.
Let me put you on camera here.
Nope.
So we're gonna have a little pitching change while we're waiting for Journey to get set up here.
He's got to come back with his name. Yeah, and then
Yukon's gonna make a pitching change. Journey the Res Dog. We're getting pictures with Journey the Res Dog right now.
Of course, we've never been called the Res Dog before, Evan?
Not a chance.
Working with the Saskatoon Tribal Council, we got Journey the Res Dog here. He's visiting us, taking a couple of pictures, and of course with the Saskatoon Tribal Council for you people that might be listening online, and we are looking at showing Journey a little bit. All right, it does look like a Res Dog. Never sure what breed he is when it comes to a dog, like Res Dogs are. So it's good to have you here, wearing the proud Team Sask uniform, and we hope you don't get too warm, but at the same time drink water and make sure you use your facilities in the right place around here.
Right on, Journey.
Enjoy your day.
Just making a quick pitching change here for Yukon. They're switching up their pitchers, so in the meantime we'll just do a quick shout out to the 1600 ladies Saskatchewan volleyball team. They won in the third set over Team Manitoba. Some of the parents messaged me and let me know the scores are. If any of you out there want to say some scores while we're live on air, by all means, send them in to us. It doesn't have to be just Saskatchewan.
7 out.
Even though we are
That's in the eighth
Saskatchewan,
spot.
we're not pro-Saskatchewan. We're just pro-NAIG, pro-Aboriginals in sport.
17 in.
So when we look at the North American Indigenous Games, I always like to tell people, sort of, to give people an idea of what does Indigenous mean. You hear Aboriginal, you hear Native. Personally, I don't like the term Native. I don't like the term when they use it, especially in print media. They tend to use Aboriginals, Natives, and so forth. The North American Indigenous Games includes in Canada, as just like the Canadian Constitution, the term Aboriginal and Aboriginal people in Canada includes First Nations, Métis, and Inuit. And in the United States, our counterparts of First Nations people in Canada are known as Native Americans.
Bring the bat, Dwight Patagan, your shortstop for Team Saskatchewan. Pitcher comes in, throwing strikes. He's definitely doing what he's supposed to be doing. Mendez over to second base. Delorme on third. Patagan up to bat. Early on in the first inning, Saskatchewan is putting the ball in play.
Oh, no, you didn't even have your glove on.
What do I got this glove for, eh?
You could have snagged that one easy.
I could have had that one, and I got to be more ready here.
You know, they say when you're playing ball, you got to stay on the balls of your feet, kind of moving, and always ready to pounce on a ball that comes your way. And
I'm ready now.
exactly.
You called me out live on air, Lyle.
Yeah.
I'm ready now.
Ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
You know, Lyle, with our on-air social media the other day, I kind of finally got up to 100 followers on Twitter.
Wow, and
I was stuck about 89 there for a long time.
That's good.
If anyone on Twitter wants to follow us and give us, you want a shout out, you know, by all means, add us up. Add us on Facebook, Evan Boyd Tapetat on Facebook. I have to put my middle name in there because there's a couple other Evan Tapetats in this world, so.
Well, and I have a few Lyle Daniels out there that's why I throw the W in there, because there's a really bad Lyle Daniels out there. Please come to my door looking for Lyle Daniels and start blaming me. And
funny story is one time
I have to explain that.
One time I got pulled over too, and they made me pull my shirt up and make sure I didn't have all these tattoos. So I don't know the other Evan Tapetats, but I'm sure one of them might be against the law every now and then.
Well, and you wonder why within our community we always make sure that people get nicknames.
Yeah.
You know, my nickname is Chico, and I've had that ever since I was a little kid, and that sort of separates us as well. We sometimes we don't even go by our real name Lyle. Sometimes people know me by Chico.
Bringing to the plate Albert Isaac from Sakamay First Nation. Albert's kind of a pitcher. Albert just graduated grade 12 this year. He's one of the players that I play against back home in the men's league. So Albert's going to be a hell of a player down the road.
Of course, the name Isaac, a little bit more, my understanding, a little bit more around the Kakawishta or Chapwais area.
Yeah.
But sometimes those 4 bands in the Crooked Lake area tend to come together every once in a while.
It's kind of like Muskeg and Misty, you know,
Yeah,
they
exactly,
sneak over and steal each other's.
Yeah. Go across the borderline and
No different where we're from.
powwows. You know, they take each other's powwows.
2 balls, 1 strike on Albert Isaac. Nice change up there from the pitcher.
Two balls, 2 strikes.
So that pitching change, Andrew Glada came in to relieve Tyler Charlie. So Glada is in for UConn.
3 balls, 2 strikes.
All you viewers at home, just, you know, UConn's one of those teams, kind of like Northwest Territories we did the other day. They don't get much competition up where they're at, if none, in fact. They're more slow pitch players than... UConn player there, drops the ball. Albert slides into second base with a ribby. And just as I was saying there, you know, in sport, everybody wants to win, but there's always a few teams, you know. There's only one champion, and in this sport, there's a lot of teams that lose. And Northwest Yukon, correction, is one of those teams that's their first time playing in a tournament of this caliber, first time playing fastball together. They're all slow pitch players, the coach told us. So they're here competing, and that's probably the most important thing for them. Getting down here, making some friends. Third baseman there, nice little catch, throws him out. There we go. Nice play by the third baseman, Brandon Brown.
So when you're talking about Yukon, the members of Yukon are from mostly three communities: Carmacks, Pelly Crossing, and of course Whitehorse. I've been up to Whitehorse a couple of times. I was up there for some meetings, and then I was up for the Jeux du Canada Winter Games a number of years back. Beautiful, beautiful place, and to come to a place as far as Regina, I'm sure is a treat. But not only that, being able to work together as a team and as a unit to be able to try and put together a competitive team is always difficult, especially when you come from a large number of different communities in northern isolated communities. So we have to tip our hat off to the community members and leadership from Yukon to be able to think of our young people, think of them as very important to be able to ensure that they participate at the North American Indigenous Games.
Yeah, despite the score of their previous game, and you know, it looks like this game may be kind of leaning towards a little bit of blowout. Despite the score, you know, they're all champions for being here, and they've made a lot of friends. I seen the Yukon kids the other day down at the Cultural Village. So while we switch over to inning there, I'll just give a couple shout outs here. My good friend Kevin Steinhauer from Edmonton, Alberta area. Good fish, I want to say. Kikino area, somewhere in there. Kevin, you can correct me later. Kevin plays hardball, slow pitch, fastball. You name it, that man plays it. And he has about 14 bats in his ball bag that all his teammates like using. And so Kevin, thanks for playing the sport the way you do and making it happen. It's ball players like yourself that are keeping our sport alive. So if you come into the ball diamond today, Kevin, come on down and say hi. We're here till the 4 o'clock game is around 4 o'clock. We're here for the 2 o'clock game coming up. So nice to see you, Kevin. Come on down and say hi.
Yeah, we were a little bit behind after the previous game, so we're not quite sure where the 4 o'clock game will come around, but I'm sure we'll be close to being live at around that time.
Okay, coming to plate for Yukon is Tristan Undershoot, your shortstop for Team Yukon.
Northern Shoshone, in and around the Carmacks area of Yukon.
Cayman George is your starting pitcher for Team Saskatchewan. Riley Sears behind the plate, calling the game. Like I said earlier, Young came in in the mound for Team Saskatchewan. He plays men's fastball, so he's usually a level up on the other guy, his peers his age. He swings a hot stick, throws a good pitch.
The Yukon team is coached by George Skookum from Carmacks, Britta Andreas from Whitehorse, but actually originally from Germany. Manager Gary Seed from Whitehorse. The last time I was in Whitehorse, it was in 2001. We had some meetings up in Whitehorse for the Aboriginal Sports Circle back then. We ended up taking an extra day just to stay there. We flew from Whitehorse to Vancouver and got home on September 10th, 2001. And we all know what happened the day after, and there was some people that were stuck in Whitehorse for a good week or so because of all the planes that were grounded and weren't able to fly anywhere. We had some people at the meeting at the time that had to stay for an extra week or so. And that's my memory of spending some time in Whitehorse.
Samuel Collins is the batter for Yukon. He's up there cutting away at Cayman. You know, these kids from Yukon are seeing a pretty good pitcher today, and that's the only way they're going to get better is if they stand in there and face the good pitchers that they've never seen. And, you know, as a coach, you tell your players, if you're going to go up there and bat, you know, you may as well get up there and swing that bat. And young Samuel Tom just went down swinging. And that's what you want to see from your young players. Don't go up there and look. You know, anything near that strike zone, you swing away. Just got a text from the Kikino president, and up from that way, and he says there's no way Kevin Steinauer belongs to them. He's from Saddle Lake. So, Kevin, yes, you're from Saddle Lake. Anyone needs a ball player on their team, you add Kevin Steinauer on Facebook. And he comes with about 14 bats. So if your team has no bats, even better.
So at bat we have Cody Gill from the Selkirk First Nation at Pelly Crossing in the Yukon. 16-year-old, 6 feet tall, 150 pounds, so a little tall and a little skinny, but looks like he has a good bat on him.
Give him a few years, you'll get some.
Yeah.
Well, he went in there swinging. 3 up, 3 down for Yukon. They went up there swinging, and Cayman George is a hell of a pitcher for his age, and the Yukon guys are getting there, standing in there swinging, so good for them. So after one full complete inning, Saskatchewan under-19 basketball men's 7 and Yukon 0.
We are here at Rambler Park for our first game of live telecasting live at the North American Indigenous Games. We have later on today at around around 2 o'clock, we will have Team Eastern Door in the North playing Ontario in the same male division of under 19, sorry.
Yeah. Well, today you're getting sun and wind. Double whammy.
Cousin Regan DeLorme just sent me a quick text saying it looks pretty windy out in Regina, and you are right. Regan, the wind is blowing in, so today is one of those days when you're a pitcher and you like the day. If you'd lifted too far, you. So, hello out in Calgary, Regan. The rain is staying away over here so far, so good. And it's a little windy, but nothing the players can handle. Keeps them nice and cool.
Balls in, guys! Balls in!
So coming to bat for Team Saskatchewan is your bat catcher, Riley Sear. Riley obviously behind the plate wearing all the equipment, likes a little bit of breeze coming through because keeps them a little cool. Want to get them overheated. Part of the order coming up here for Saskatchewan, 2, 3, 4. These are the hitters in your order you usually want. Hammer that ball.
Oh.
Lyle, I'm still waiting for that VIP food thing you promised me the other night.
Well, you know,
I seen there was mini bison burgers last night.
well, actually, make sure you come tonight. I was talking with Vice Chief Dexter Raw yesterday morning. He was really happy to hear us on doing this commentating, and he says, "You make sure you tell Adam to come to the VIP." But you're right. We had the little tiny,
I saw the picture.
little tiny Nietzsche sliders, which were absolutely wonderful. The sous chef, of course, wonderful cook and chef that we have around the Regina area, and then they had these they had the chocolate fondue. Whoa.
Nice. Now while we're talking there, the center fielder Samuel Tall made a nice diving catch. Now shortstop undershoot, nice little snag, throw over to first, and Yukon sitting pretty here. That's what I was saying earlier. If you can just put the ball in play and let your defense do their thing, you know, the pass balls and the walks kind of come back to haunt you, but if you can put the ball in play, let your defense do their thing, that's kind of what a good pitcher wants to do. Obviously a strikeout being what you really want, but if not, put it in play and let your fielders do their thing. Cayman George up to bat for Saskatchewan here. Cleanup hitter. Fly ball out to right field. There we go. Yukon 3 up, 3 down. First inning, we saw the right fielder drop a ball. And, you know, with that wind, you know, anytime you're playing outfield with the wind, it's not as easy as it looks. Here on your screen, you can see the coming in. He's got to kind of judge the wind, and there we go.
he made up for the last little bobble he did last time, so good for him. 3 up, 3 down. You always got to like that.
Now Yukon can get back on his sticks, and as long as they get in there and swing away, right? Cayman's one of the premier pitchers for his age category in the province, probably even Western Canada. And if Yukon can get in there and swing away and not be intimidated and overpowered, then they'll be fine. I'll tell you, Lyle, we're moving up in this world. We have Gatorade today.
You know, I'm thinking by the
there was
time
pizza earlier.
Well, when we had pizza, they moved us up apparently for whatever reason. We must be getting cheeky enough and around here to, and with all the shutouts probably, we're getting high ratings maybe. I don't know.
Well, I had a little one-on-one talk with my assistant Amber earlier in
April,
sorry.
You got to get the.
I get them mixed up. I have sister Amber in April.
Oh, exactly.
My assistant April there, a little talk with her, so she's picked it up today so far. I even have a T-shirt that fits today. So.
Well, speaking of fitting, you know, after the 2 games they did on Tuesday, I was wondering why I was having such a big headache, and I looked at the hat, the Access hat I was wearing, and realized that it was a small, and trying to fit a small hat on this big noggin of mine. No wonder why I had a headache. So I decided to not wear mine today, or I'll wait for April to bring me a double XL size major pumpkin head hat to wear.
Away at bat for Yukon here is third baseman Brandon Brown.
Ball.
Brandon, of course, from the Yukon, is a Métis coming from Pelly Crossing. 16-year-old, 6 feet, 200 pounds. 200 pounds of pure Nietzsche. I guess Happy they used to call in the 70s, and Métis, of course, is French for mixed blood.
One ball, 2 strikes.
Like the shout-outs we get from on Twitter, some of our bros back home are not able to understand what the heck Twitter is, so they're still in the caveman area, just using Facebook to creep all over the place. Of course, you know the way our community is. Big shout-out to Raymond Cameron. My late friend, really close friend, Howard Cameron's boy, to give a shout out to his Nishtau, Trent Ermine, who was playing under the with Team Saskatchewan. Listening back home in Beardy's, Okemasis First Nation, just around Duck Lake. Welcome to the online version of this game, and I hope you enjoy all the action from all my friends, all my Cameron friends in the Beardy's area.
Up to bat for Yukon is Tyler Charlie. Brandon Brown, the previous batter, went down swinging. They're standing in there, they're swinging. See if Tyler can put together a nice little hit here.
Ball.
You can see he came in as a nice little rise ball there. Especially you viewers watching at home, you get the look from center field. You can see when he throws his changeup, he has a little rise ball, a little curve.
Pitcher on pitcher, number 88. Tyler Charlie from Pelly Crossing.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
One thing I like about this team, even though it's under 19, we have a large number of 16 and 17-year-olds that play for Team Yukon. A little bit of skullduggery there, looking like he was going to bunt, but
showed the bunt, brought the corners in, and then
smashed it down the middle.
Squared box, smashed right down the middle. Standing at second, Tyler Charlie with a nice little piece of hitting there. Bringing to the plate your first baseman, Tyler Hope. Tynan Hope. Correction.
Even though it's under 19, like I mentioned, Tynan is a 15-year-old.
Lyle, what do they have these games? Every 3 years? Every 4 years?
Traditionally, since 1990, they've had them every approximately 3 years. NAIG Council, which is the governing body that looks at awarding the games every time, decided to make sure that they have the games sort of alternating between Canada and the United States. Supposed to be in Wisconsin in 2011, did not happen because they were unable to get it going, and then moved it back to Canada for 2014. I would like to think it's going to be in 2017 in the States somewhere. But you know what? I was doing a little bit of my own research, and you know, there's 242 casinos in the United States. I never knew that that Native American tribes have. If every single one of those casinos gave a one-time grant of $50,000 to a host in the United States, that would be the equivalent of $12.1 million that would be able to be utilized to a host community in the United States. And I think we just need to work hard at trying to market this a little bit more and get this back on track for our young people.
Yeah, for sure. You know, one of the things that kind of amazed me in a negative way about these games is states like Montana, North Dakota, who are just over the border here, 2-3 hours away, don't have any teams here. So somewhere, someone in the States has to take the bull by the horns and take charge, because nice pickup by the shortstop. Throw Hope out at first. Bringing the plate, Brent Skookum, your catcher. Yeah, it would be nice to see if our American counterparts could match us, and you know, all of our provinces are here right now, and we don't need all the 51 states, but we need something more than just Wisconsin, New York, and California.
Yeah, we have Colorado as well. Colorado hosted in 2006 in Denver. But you're right. You get even Idaho. You know, we got Washington here.
Minnesota has a lot of.
Yeah, and we'd like to see, you know, North Dakota, South Dakota, strong Sioux communities in those areas. We just need to market properly and market better and invest some money to make that happen. Run home from Yukon.
Pass ball there, brought home Yukon's first run. There you go, Yukon. You know, they were down by 6 there. They're standing in there, and they're not going anywhere anytime too soon. So they're going to stand here in battle for the full 7 innings if they can. So that's RBI for batter Skookum, who, if you're at the plate, pass ball happens, run comes in. That's your RBI.
And he brought home Tyler Charlie. Looked like they had a close game the last time, 16-13. They had a really strong offense at that time. Must have been a real treat for the team to be able to get some rallies going.
Skookum goes down swinging. Yukon gets on the board, however, 1 run. Bringing the total to Saskatchewan 7, Yukon 1 after 1.5 complete innings. See my good friend Royce Cody over here to the right. Plays for the Belcaris Bronx. Die hard. Gubba, he said he'll be there right till you guys to the end. That's kind of Gubba's right-hand man. His son Darian plays for the under 16, who had a tough game yesterday against Manitoba. They were up the whole way, and then towards the end, Manitoba just pulled ahead and held on for the 6-5 win. So definitely some good action out here. And the Manitoba-Saskatchewan rivalry is definitely alive. It seems they kind of get up for each other and they play each other. And
no doubt when it comes to the prairie provinces, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, there's always a local rivalry that happens, and that's an automatic thing. Even if it's other sports, hockey is another one that tends to be well competed.
Okay, Saskatchewan coming to bat here in the top of the third. I said that wrong last inning. It's after 2 complete. That was 1.5. After 2 complete innings, it's
6-1. 6-1. Yep. 6-1 for Saskatchewan.
Got a couple scoreboards happening here, so I'm just checking them both. So that's my excuse this time around anyway. I'm gonna put my glove on you. I have a feeling something's gonna come our way. Some of these batters are men. Dimitri Constant to the plate here for Team Saskatchewan.
For you people watching online and or on Cable 7 in Regina area, plus HD 70 channel in that same area, we'll also give you a medal standings when we get a chance. Team Saskatchewan have yesterday had a commanding lead, but that's been tightened up quite a bit.
Oh, I thought that was coming to us. Oh, while we're waiting here, I got a nice text from one of my good friends on there. Big shout out to the Carson's crew who are on a rain day off from the pipeline right now down in Estevan, Saskatchewan. They're sitting there with that nice food they got in the lounge and the pipeline and just chilling and having a good time. So hello down there. I think that's my cousin Pete. I'm not sure.
Well, the one thing that I am a firm believer in, not only is it important for our young people to be involved in sport, one of the things that I'm involved with, my job with the Saskatchewan Building Trades, who's a major sponsor here, my job is to get our people working in places like potash mines, upgraders, and so forth in Saskatchewan. We have a large Aboriginal young population, and we want to be able to get them trained, get them in the workforce so they can make money and develop families within our community. We're not going anywhere. We have in Regina some really great projects that are happening. The stadium, the new stadium that's going to be built here, the water treatment plant that's here. My job is to make sure that our people are working there with some of the key jobs that are going to be developed in and around the Regina area. So big shout out to Saskatchewan Building Trades, and we want to be able to be a part of Saskatchewan and of course Canada as well.
3 balls, 2 strikes.
That was indeed my cousin Pete Watson down there. Oh, Dimitri wanted that one. It was just kind of hanging a little too high.
A little too high with a little off-speed pitch, and he was kind of debating, but decided to just suck it up and take a walk.
Bringing to the plate, third baseman Landon Delorme.
No, it's right beside Curry. I assume they know where to go.
Ball.
No one, they'll be taking it. You know what? Just take down my number and they can call me. Yeah, it's 09. But yeah, 172.
Little high pitch there.
Yeah,
2 balls, no strikes on your batter.
perfect.
The game of fastball, when you're down 2-0, you kind of, next one's going to be a hitter's pitch. Kind of should be a strike. Pitcher's never really going to go down 3 balls, no strikes. You kind of perk up when you go down 2-0. Skips her in home there. Pitcher Andrew Glad having a little tough time right now finding the strike zone.
Three balls.
Yeah, coming up next week, Lyle up in Prince Albert, the Canadian Native Fastball Championships up in Prince Albert. Men's. Nice fly ball there coming up. Let's see what our right fielder can do with this one. He seemed to kind of dust it off the cobwebs out there.
The one thing that I really think we need to see as we show the replay of the fly ball into right field, not only is this a great showcase of our young people, but I would really like to see with some of the provinces and territories picking up our people into mainstream teams like for the Jeu de Canada games and so forth. Given we have a lot of talent within our young people, and I think taking a look at who participates at these games from the different teams, there's no doubt we should be looking at these to make up some of our Canada Games teams and even some even higher level. You take a look at the Canadian Native Fastball Championships, wonderful talent. Sometimes you see extra innings from 0-0 games and some awesome pitchers throughout Canada.
Some miscommunication there between your catcher and pitcher.
Yeah, as we get a little bit of a break in the action too, always also keep in mind that the Cultural Village has some great entertainment happening every day in the evening. Have Andrea Menard and Michael Hutchinson from APTN as their hosts. Access Communications, of course, takes the time to broadcast as many games and musical, cultural events that are happening throughout Regina. Take the time to, if you can't make it to any of the events, make sure you check out Channel 7 in and around the Regina area, Channel 70 in HD, but also check out the list of games that are happening online, live.
Nice change up there from pitcher Glada. Good battle we got on one year between pitcher Glada and Mendez, and batter Mendez for Team Saskatchewan.
Ball.
Mendez wins the battle. Dwight Patagan up to the plate for Team Sask.
Pitcher from Yukon starting to look pretty solid out there. Andrew Glada from Whitehorse, Cascadene.
That's a tough one. I wasn't sure where it was either.
It's the first time ever Andrew has actually pitched in softball, so
he's doing not bad.
He's doing very good.
Holding a pretty good team here, down 6-1. Holding the bats, keeping them cool. Nice pitch.
Bubble!
Patagan falls that one off. It's down 2 strikes, no balls.
2 strikes!
My good friend Leopold Delorme is here. He's usually a walking billboard for First Nations University of Canada. Today is no different. Mendez slides in safe to second.
Top of the third, 1 out.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
6-1 for Saskatchewan, ahead of Yukon. Good crowd, strong Saskatchewan population supporting our young people. Large number of people in the right field fence, all under the umbrella. It's getting warm. Of course, we don't want to get too dark.
Volleyball kicked off yesterday. Basketball wrapped up. A lot of the Saskatchewan fans are volleyball players or volleyball fans, so a little bit of our fans.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
You were mentioning earlier about lacrosse. Some of the medal games are starting to come up with lacrosse. Absolutely rough game I've seen when it comes to lacrosse. You know, you think hockey is violent. football is violent, but lacrosse looks pretty rough. You can just be standing out there and get knocked around for no reason, and it's kind of an interesting way they do things.
You don't have to have the ball to get hit there. You can just be kind of standing around, minding your own.
3 balls,
Get
2 strikes.
right across the wrists.
That's why, you know what, I'm a golfer, and I got control of a ball that's just sitting in one spot, where all these other ones seem to be flying around, and but certainly our young people are good at these.
Ball.
Off-speed pitch.
But Dagan earns himself a walk, bringing it to the plate, Albert Isaac. Albert Isaac plays fastball for the Sakamay Eagles men's fastball team out of Sakamay, just north of Grenfell there. Seeing Albert's dad walking around here. Seeing his mom. Ball out of play.
Right here, bud.
See off in a distance over there, Lyle. Looks like some of those clouds we don't want coming this way.
A little bit. This game's supposed to end at and the next one at 2 o'clock. We're at 1:20 right now, so I'm sure we're going to be backed up a little bit for the 2 o'clock game.
Albert with a hit to left field. Left fielder probably should have had that one. I guess I judged it a little bit wrong with this wind. And there's wind like this. Nothing
Looks like it's coming out, and next thing you know, it starts dying really quickly, and the wind gets a hold of it.
Supposed to give me that later.
That's exactly what happened to that one. Kind of hit right at him. Played it, realized it was dying down. Too little, too late.
That's a strong throw in because he threw that to second really easy.
Okay, gotcha.
We're gonna have a
27 in, number 11 out.
We're gonna have a player change for Saskatchewan. Riley Matthew coming into bat for Trent Irvine. So young Matthew is up to bat.
27 in, number 11 out.
We'll see what Matthew would do with loaded bases here.
Grounder ball for the batter, for the pitcher, and checking out the weather, it's probably going to hopefully stay away from us. Any bad weather that they're predicting for today. Even some tornado warnings, of course. Anytime I see on Facebook the tornado hunter, I'm following him on Facebook. When he starts adding some statuses in Saskatchewan, you know things are starting to develop around here. And he was in Fort Capel this morning, so he was checking out the Doppler or whatever they use to check out the weather. Looks like we're hanging in there though.
So what you're saying is you're nosy.
Very nosy. Very nosy. I do my own creeping on Facebook as well, checking out. Oh, just about.
Okay, I'm gonna get ready here this time for real. Because they're gonna come. It's gonna come. Next one's gonna be right at us.
It's gonna come. And if any luck, we'll get the camera right on that, and you'll get it all live. It'll be wonderful.
Matthew, kind of ahead. I got us covered. Don't worry. I got us covered here.
7-1 Saskatchewan over Yukon. Top of the third. We got Saskatchewan at bat.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Fly ball here coming out our way. It's gonna die down. There's the wind coming into play. Shortstop thought that was going out to left field.
Yeah.
It just died right down, and it actually landed just behind the shortstop.
When he first seen it, he let it go and looked away. Didn't finish watching it, and next thing you know, it just died really quickly, and actually just right behind him.
Riley Sear, your batter. You see here, shortstop thinks it's going to go out to left field, gets out of the way.
22-kilometer wind coming from directly to the south, which is where the ball was being hit. Misjudged, obviously, kind of almost like an error.
Yeah, we can probably rule an error. Riley Sear is your batter for Team Saskatchewan. Got a couple runs in this inning. Hit the center fielder, loaded bags. Probably should have had third base runner Patagan tagging on that. JJ just letting them know right now, you know, it's a big run, and it's not a mercy rule yet, so every run is big.
For your catcher, or you got to change? Okay.
10 in for
Number 5.
10 in for 5.
Coach Jason
Strong
Johnson.
Making a change, we're going to have Lane Constant batting for Wasey Strong Eagle.
Number 10 in, number 5 out. Number 10 in, number 5 out.
Really good to see JJ always involved in sport. Of course, like you mentioned, he's an official in basketball, coaching softball. Always within the last few years of NAIG, been very much involved in Team Saskatchewan. I respect him incredibly, mainly because he has a strong commitment to not only sport but to our community and to our people. Métis guy from Saskatoon.
That's right, he's always involved, playing or involved somehow, some way. As you get older in your career, guys like myself, yourself, we just got to give back. Sport's given us a lot.
Absolutely.
All right, Lane Constant's up to bat, two balls on him, loaded bases. 2 away here.
8-1 for Saskatchewan.
See if you can bring in a couple more runs. They're getting around that area where there may be a mercy rule soon, so if they can score a couple more here, then. Nice little change up there.
Change up strike, so that's
Lane kicks the dirt and kind of smiles and realizes probably should have swung at that one.
close the eyes and swing anyway sometimes, yeah.
Put it up in the air, let the wind do its thing. And,
Three balls, one strike.
nice hang by catcher Skookum. This gets pretty hot behind the home plate there.
Getting the sun directly at him.
Oh, wearing all that equipment.
Yeah.
Not to mention the umpire as well back there. Got all that equipment on. And Yukon gets out of the inning. Shortstop over to second for a force out at second base, getting him out of the inning. Saskatchewan scores 2.
Yep.
Nice little toss over second. Second baseman didn't realize the inning was over, threw it away. Good thing the inning was over.
Got a re-entry for both
After
of those
three and a
guys.
half innings, scores Saskatchewan 8, Yukon 1.
As they're changing the North American Indigenous Games, we got the closing ceremonies happening Saturday, 7 o'clock in the evening.
Both of those guys.
Same time as Saskatchewan Roughrider football game where they're playing against the Toronto Argonauts, I believe. But my understanding, we got some great entertainment happening, plus fireworks for the young people. The other thing, we have Adam Beach coming, probably I think starting Friday, to come and show us some movies for the youth at the First Nations University Cultural Village. Great opportunity to see a well-respected actor and a champion in our community, and a person I'm sure is a strong role model for our young people.
You know, they say I look like Adam Beach a little bit, eh? What they say. Down standing buffalo, that's what they say anyway.
Oh, I get called so many different things. I look like everybody from Denzel Washington to Jermaine Jackson. So that's my range of how I look. I look like.
Tell you, the color of my man Lyle Daniels here. Speaking of closing ceremonies, where are those happening?
They're happening at the Culture Village, starting 7 o'clock at the First Nations University of Canada.
Here you go, batter.
Make sure, because it's in the evening and if it's warm, make sure you prepare yourself. Give yourself a good coating of bug spray, because the mosquitoes have been taking away kids, as they say, because they're pretty bad. If there's a wind, it'll be a little bit better, but chances are they'll be bad, so be prepared for that.
All right, batting for Yukon is Chris McKay, number 8 in the batting order. Correction, batting is Andrew Glada. My bad. First mistake I've made today.
Two balls, one strike.
2 balls, 1 strike on Glada. Swinging behind, a little bit behind there.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Glada goes down looking. Nice pitch by Cayman George. Hit to the outside corner on that one. Bringing the bat, Chris McKay. Batting number 9 in the order for Yukon. Get my glove ready here, I think. I got someone behind me here. I got to protect them too.
Chris McKay, of course, is a Inuit from Whitehorse. I guess every once in a while, even though you're in Yukon and you would think they come from the local First Nations, sometimes not necessarily by powwows, but definitely different other means that they tend to integrate and have Indian affairs, as they say, to be able to grow our families all over northern Canada. So for you people living and listening online in northern Canada, we welcome you to the Yukon-Saskatchewan game. We are 1 out in the bottom of the 3rd, with Saskatchewan leading the Yukon 8-1.
Two balls, 2 strikes.
2 balls, 2 strikes on McKay for Yukon. Seen my nephew Ethan Bear in the house. Ethan, obviously a defenseman with the Seattle Thunderbirds. Kind of looking around. Sun's out, so the guns aren't out. Right to that guy today. Got a couple players from the WHL, Western Hockey League, in the attendance. Kirk Bear plays for Team Saskatchewan. He's one of the reserve players today for Team Sask. Obviously a defenseman with Red Deer Rebels. And Ethan Bear just walked in here, defenseman with Seattle Thunderbirds. So,
and of course, always around the Team Sask, any Team Sask softball team, you got your dad Morty Watson, the coach from the under 16 team.
I was watching though. If he makes contact.
Chief Leonard Cashane there. At bat is Tristan Undershoot right now for Yukon. See what Tristan can put together here. A speedy bugger. Little bunt there, mister. He's got 2 strikes on him now. Cayman George throwing bullets on the mound. Nice rise ball there.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
1 ball, 2 strikes on batter. Cayman trying to bring his guys in, get him out of the sun.
Bottom of the 3rd with 2 out. We've got Saskatchewan up 8-1 against Yukon. Live programming here by Access Communications.
Undershoot goes down looking.
So we head to the top of the fourth. So help us explain the mercy rule that's always in effect.
Okay, the mercy rule is going to be 15 up after 3 innings, or after 4, and then 7 up after 5. So we're at 8-1 right now. So at this rate, we got to go at least to the 5th inning, unless Saskatchewan starts a dirty rally next inning and kind of gets a few more runs. So we still have a few innings left here, I believe. I haven't seen the other teams walk in yet that are playing next. I think, who do we got the next game? Eastern Door?
Eastern Door in the north against Team Ontario in the U19 Boys Softball.
We haven't seen them walk in yet, so we'll keep an eye out for them. Should be arriving at the ballpark pretty soon.
Actually got one of the mission staff from Team Ontario here right now.
She's here, not her team though. Oh, okay, they are here. They're in the shade.
In the shade, getting ready, but welcome Team Ontario and the mission staff. Make sure you give a shout out to and make sure you contact local home people to be able to catch the live game coming up after this one. Chances are it'll be pretty close to 2 o'clock this afternoon, but right now
2:15, 2:30.
2:15 exactly. You need a little bit of time to clean up the diamond after this game is over, so we're probably going to be in around 2:15 or so if you're listening live.
That's kind of 4 o'clock, 4:15 if you're in Ontario.
Exactly. Yeah,
Do the
2
time
hours.
change for
2
that.
hours. Yeah, exactly.
A little bit of everything we do here on Access 7.
We do have some knowledge, so that's good to help them understand the time change.
That's why when they sifted through all the resumes to do this, we were the last 2 standing.
Or more likely when they're
We were the only 2.
when they're digging at the bottom of the barrel, we just happened to be hanging on when their hand came up.
All right, Cayman George is up to bat for Saskatchewan, Old Chapel East resident here. Known to hit the odd home run every now and then. Wind is blowing in today though, so if he hits one today, he has to really get a hold of it. My social media has went pretty quiet lately. No one has poked me yet.
Take a look at the what do you call those? Not hashtags. Hashtag is 2012 NAIG. Our handles maybe at Lyle W. Daniels and at Cat Canuck for Evan here. Send us a tweet. Follow us, and we'll make sure we get a shout out for to your community and any members that you might have playing for either Team Saskatchewan or the Yukon. 8-1, we are here at the top of the 4th. Saskatchewan ahead of Yukon.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Came in with a big cut there. 2 balls, 2 strikes on himself, trying to get on base. I think maybe get some more runs here. Maybe kind of put that mercy rule into effect. Yukon's not going anywhere though. They're on the balls of their feet. They're ready in the outfield.
Yeah, even though I try to get people, get you to help people understand sort of the mercy rule, I don't know what to do about jinxing people, but this team from Yukon has a really good for a team that has played 3 games now in the games, they are almost reaching their own and they're holding their own.
Well, one of the things you look for in teams like that is how they react. Do they quarrel amongst each other? Do they not get along? That isn't the case with Yukon. Yukon's out there. Every time they come in from the outfield, they're smiling, they're high-fiving. They're happy to be here. So
yeah, I seen one give another a piggyback on the way in. So they're happy to be here. And that's what these games are all about. Not only being able to win gold medals, but spending time as team members to be able to be proud of their community, work together as a community to back and be part of their own territory of Yukon and make their community members proud.
Correct, because we're on day 5 of 7 here, and we're winding down, so there's not too many days left to make those memories. I see April has bought us something. It's nice of her.
She's making us wish for their ice cream that she brought here. That's pretty cruel of her, but that's okay. We'll have a break right away, and I think I might end up doing that.
17 in, 22 out.
Like I mentioned, we got Team Sask ahead of Yukon 8-1 at the top of the 4th. 1 Saskatchewan member on first base.
Nick McLeod, nice little hit. Well, I tell you, that right fielder's steady as steady now.
Coming along, eh? All he needed was that one bobble fly ball that he missed right off the bat, and next thing you know, 1, 2, 3, 4.
He's good to go. He's as good as gold.
Solid, just taking his time.
We have one of our friends from Eastern Door North showing up here.
Thank you.
Exactly what we want. Handed us their lineup with where they're from. Though I'm going to get Lyle to announce those names because I don't want to butcher any of the names on air. Bringing it back, Landon Delorme, the new father. 4 a.m. this morning, had a baby girl. So we'll see if he can get a little hit for his newborn daughter.
So for the next game coming up in and around after 2 o'clock, we got Eastern Door in the North. And again, I always got to explain it because people don't sort of understand if they're listening or watching on Cable 7. Eastern Door in the North is within the boundaries of Quebec. Eastern Door, the Mohawk people in Eastern Canada are seen as the keepers of the Eastern Door, which is the St. Lawrence Seaway and so forth. And then you got the Northern Cree of Quebec, and they are seen as Team Eastern Door in the North in the North American Indigenous Games.
That laughing you hear in the background here, that's coming from some Saskatchewan fans.
3 balls, 1 strike.
3 balls, 1 strike, and your batter, Landon Delorme. Yukon trying to get an out here. 1 away right now.
Ball 4.
Landon draws himself a walk. Yukon, a female coach, going to come out and have a little chat with her pitcher.
Time.
Britta Andreas. She was lives in Whitehorse, and I mentioned also that they were from. She's from Germany. So when I was talking about 9/11 back when I first went to Whitehorse, they diverted a large number of planes to Whitehorse at that time that were going over their routes from back and forth from Europe, and so there was always concern about how they're going to be able to land those planes all over the world, and it's kind of interesting the way the logistics and around that.
I thought you were going to say that Britta was on one of those planes and got stuck there and has never looked back.
Maybe that's what happened. Maybe that's what happened.
Well, Coach Britta from Germany had a little chat with her man on the mound there. See, my Auntie Denise is listening at home. She's at work at LJ's on Ochapois. Probably not doing a lot as per usual. Just kind of looking busy when the owners come around. That'll be my Auntie Denny's for you. Batter Caden Mendez, 2 balls on him. Young pitcher in the mound there, Andrew Glada, having a hard time right now. Can't seem to find the strike zone. Runners move up on a pass ball. Kind of got some funny looking clouds moving in here from the moose jaw away, so hopefully those can stay away. Want to get in as much fastball as we can here. We're getting down to the nitty gritty in the days left in NAIG. So rainouts would not be good for getting into playoff contention. First baseman drops the ball on the throw from the second baseman. Brings home a runner.
Little RBI for Team Sask.
Bringing the plate, Lane Constant, Team Saskatchewan. DeLorme and Mendez move up, second and third respectively.
It's become a little overcast here. But don't really see any threat of really bad inclement weather, but keep an eye on things. Hopefully we'll get another game in today, live broadcasting on Access Communications, Channel 7, online at myAccess.ca/NAIG, all lowercase.
First baseman takes it for an out, gives them 2 away. Everything looks a little. Everything on this diamond is a little harder than it actually looks because of the wind right now. So a little simple pop fly like that isn't as easy as it usually is. Albert Isaac to the plate for Saskatchewan. Nice block by the catcher. Catcher certainly earned his keep behind home plate there. He's had to block a few, had to run back to the backstop every now and then.
For you people listening online or watching on Cable 7, when we get a chance, we'll give you a medal standings update. We'll be able to bring you up to speed on some of the medals that were given out. And of course, don't forget the 8 p.m. highlight show that happens with my bro Roger Ross and company this evening at 8 o'clock. Usually from 8 until 8:30, give some highlights and some interviews from all over the North American Indigenous Games.
Ball high. I see my good friend Preston Henry and then fellow Chapois resident Mark George are listening out in Kindersley, working on the pipeline. If I know those two, they'll probably be sitting in a truck right now watching on their cell phones. They're probably not even laughing because it's true.
Big shout out to Tribal Chief Edmund Belgard. I see you walking around here. He's my yearly competitor to see who gets darker every year. So I think he has me by 1 shade. So it's going to be a good competition this year. I'm looking forward to it. It's always a great competition him and I have.
We'll blame that one on the golf course. He's probably been out golfing a little more than you.
Yeah, you know, but we've had wonderful weather as of late, and if he's able to do that more than me as of late because I've been busy with the games, he'll be up on me. Big swing from Team Saskatchewan. Number 11.
Trent Ermine. Nice pitch.
2 strikes.
A little high. Ermine can bring some of the runners in.
9-1 Saskatchewan over Yukon. Top of the 4th, 2 out. Really impressed with Access and their camera work. You know, I was having lunch with them prior to the broadcast today.
Nice hit by
As we see right down the line,
bringing
left
in 2
field.
runners.
tremendous amount of work has to go on with the organizing and logistical side of things with Access Communications. I really got to give a tip of the hat to Access Communications. That's why I'm probably going to continue to be a Access Communications subscriber back in Regina Beach, because they've impressed me that much more, and they've earned my respect, and I'm going to make sure they're still my cable provider from now on.
Well, April tells us they may have a contract offer for me and you, so
Exactly.
we'll see what kind of other sporting events they want us to do. But you know, in this beautiful world,
I'm sure their contracts are being drawn up as we speak.
yeah.
Exactly. So.
I don't see that main manager guy running around. He's probably in front of his laptop drawing them up. So anyway, the score here is 11, Saskatchewan 11, Yukon 1. We are in the top of the fourth inning. Yukon's looking to get out of the inning. They got 2 away. Young Gladys still on the mound, trying to bring his team in. Boys have been out there a little bit this inning, so they're trying to stay upbeat as possible. See my cousin Geraldine Bear here from Wachapowace. She tells Denny's she's got a secret camp set up at LJ's there, so she's watching you sit around and do nothing right now.
2 balls, 1 strike.
We can see you, Denny's.
2 balls, 1 strike.
Okay, this one's coming this way.
And don't grab up there, okay? Use the mat.
Evan's ready for a line drive down the fence line so he can snag it.
Ball. Step high.
Snag it.
31.
That's not
3 balls,
necessarily
1
a
strike.
softball term, but I try sometimes.
Snag. You snagged? You tried snag?
Got an update there too. Actually, just missed that.
4.
Ball 4 loads up the bases once again.
See your hands down first with a walk, little bases. 2 up, bringing to the plate. Number 5, Wasey Strong.
Good. Yep.
Any quick pinch runner in there for Saskatchewan, try to get some of their players in. This game is starting to become a blowout.
Little shout out to my bro Roger Ross, Access 7 co-hosts with Lachlan Medill, the 8 p.m. wrap-up or highlight show every evening.
Strong Eagle Boy, they double that. There's the bases.
Time.
Nice piece of hitting by Strong Eagle. Just pushed her out into the opposite field. Bringing to the plate, Cayman George. Cayman swinging away in there. Cayman up to bat. Glada trying to bring his boys in here. They've been in the outfield a little while. Starting to, I've been on that side of the ball field every now and then, and it gets a little long and tiring when you're standing out there for a half hour. Came in with another swing. A couple shout outs here we got. Randall Sparby from Sakamay. He's actually sitting in a chief and council meeting, he says. congratulating all the athletes and all the organizers for NAIG. So Albert Isaac for Team Saskatchewan is obviously one of his athletes. So how you doing out there, Randall? Just scrolling down. Fly ball there, ends the inning. Cayman flies out to the left fielder, bringing Yukon in.
Judged that a little bit better this time. He was able to pick up the ball through the wind. Again, a really strong wind of 20 kilometers an hour from the south, and that ball was hit right into the south.
Are you out by the airport?
See my good friend Clayton LaSwiss out, and we were bugging him earlier, out in Standing Buffalo. Him and Eddie Tawiaka, they're doing what we do, he says. And that should be standing around watching dudes work out and watching him fix the shingles. So hat rock out there. My good friend Pete Sewell from Batchewana First Nation out in Sault Ste. Marie. He's chilling in Rankin, Ontario with Renee and Jared Smith, watching Jared Smith with Team Ontario. Pete he's probably the only guy in Canada that is a member, a police member, and a council member on his reserve. So I don't know how that goes hand in hand with him, but Pete does it well out that way. Sheila Bob and Big Sexy cheering on Team Sask all the way from Saskatoon.
Speaking of Big Sexy, my bro, like I mentioned, Roger Ross, watching myaccess.ca/NAIG, the live coverage today of Team Saskatchewan taking on Team Yukon. And we got Yukon at bat.
Samuel Tom is up.
Samuel Tom.
Center fielder. Made a nice catch earlier.
He's a Northern Shoshone from the Carmacks in Yukon.
Good little center fielder here.
And then I'll have to arrange with you guys.
Bunt attempt is
Fouled, almost caught.
Yeah, almost gone.
Shaking his head. Thought he could have had that.
Team Ontario guy here is going to give us a...
I wasn't sure where it was.
Going to remind us of some rules, maybe. It's good to see Team Ontario out here.
Make sure I didn't get run over.
One of the coaches has the ball pants on. Samuel Tom goes down swinging, strike three. Cayman George is just mowing him down, cruising right along. Coming to bat is Cody Hill. Another bunt attempt is fault. Well, it looks like this weather is going to miss us anyway, so it's just a little bit overcast. Keeps blowing up towards Saskatoon, that's okay. Sheila and Big Sexy, it's weather's coming your way up there.
Big shout out to Carol Whitecalf. We're watching this game with her wonderful looking little boys.
Ball, one strike.
Watching the MacBook back home right now. Always strong sport people, Carol, and my good friend Courage Bear.
Gill with a nice bunt.
Very nice bunt.
Carol, Courage, Carol, Cohen, Cruz, KG.
Yeah, I lost track after the first one.
So many C's there.
They're. I wouldn't be surprised if they announce that they're having a fourth.
Well, you
at
know
some
what,
point.
Courage, he's a sneaky bugger, eh?
Yeah.
Bringing the bat, Brandon Brown. Cleanup hitter for Yukon.
Bubble.
See my nephew Tabry still walking around here. His sister Andrea just tweeted at me saying
2 strikes.
let him know she's cheering from down Carlisle way. Brandon Brown goes down swinging. Give him 2 away. Tyler Charlie is your batter for UConn. You know, I thought our assistant April would kind of hand over that ice cream eventually, but she's still sitting over there, going away on it too. Charlie grounds out, forced out at second to end the inning. After 4 complete innings, Saskatchewan 14, UConn 1.
Of course, she does an old First Nations trick. Eh? She eats all of it all the way to the bottom. Oh, you guys want some?
I didn't know she says that.
That's okay. Oh, I might have to try some. It looks nice. Looks yummy.
Coming up next, we're still probably about another half hour, 40 minutes away from starting, but Eastern Dorner North under 19 Boys Softball versus Ontario coming up. So if you're one of the fans waiting out east, you hang in there. Go grab a pop, go grab a chips, have a smoke, come back in about 45. We should be on for you about then.
Is she confused? Does she think it's worry?
We have a score of 14-1. Saskatchewan ahead of UConn right now. Top of the 5th coming up. At Rambler Park, beautiful day today. The sun has gone behind some clouds. No real threat of any inclement weather other than it being cloudy, windy. But now it's getting to a point where it's manageable. The heat is not as bad as it was earlier.
So if the score stands as it is right now, this is going to be the last inning coming up here.
Leading off the 5th for Saskatchewan, number 17, Nick McLeod.
There we go.
Just final warm-ups before we begin top of the 5th inning.
Nick McLeod is going to be your batter for Saskatchewan.
So when we take a look at the outfield right now, we have the members of the Yukon team come from basically 3 communities in the Yukon. Carmacks, which has a population of 503 people. Pelly Crossing, which is around 290 people, and the largest population in Yukon is their capital, Whitehorse, at 27,000.
Never been up that area.
Very, very beautiful. I took a river cruise when I was up there, and I chose that over golfing because I can golf anytime I wanted to do what some of the locals did. Beautiful, beautiful area. Pretty lucky to live up there.
Pop fly here. Second baseman sets and catches it for 1 away here in the top of the 5th inning. Young Andrew Gladys still standing in the pitcher's mound doing his thing, so it's nice to see. Going on pitching five innings here, so maybe a little stiff, a little sore tomorrow, but that's all part of playing sport. Landon Alarm is your batter. Single up the middle. Going into second. Standing up at second, safe. We're going to have a player roster change. Kirk Bear is going to come into bat.
Right up the middle, a little bit of bobbling from the center fielder. Right fielder comes in and makes the play for him.
Kirk Bear up to bat here. As stated before, Kirk Bear is a member of the Western Hockey League Red Deer Rebels. Plays defense for them.
4 in, 15 out.
For you people living in their home community and listening either online or watching on cable, make sure you bug your mission staff and team members or your kids who might be playing. They can pick up a copy of this game that was done and broadcast live here 11 o'clock tomorrow, and be able to take one home as a souvenir of the games here. Later on this evening, you might be able to find this game on YouTube, repeats, and able to watch that at your leisure. Not doing this before, Evan, I wanted to take a couple looks to see how we did, and realized and made some minor adjustments. And of course, April was able to make sure that we're organized, and hats off to the Access Communications people. They sure know what they're doing, and they make our job that much more easier. They even bring ice cream every once in a while after they're done with it.
Soft and melted ice cream, but I guess it's still ice cream.
Nice hit up the middle again.
It's going to drop in for a double.
Brings home the runner.
Kirk gets the break, standing at second.
15-1 Saskatchewan over Yukon. Top of the fifth. Nice strong hit into the wind, center field.
Dwight Tagan at the plate. Team Saskatchewan pitches a little behind him.
I just met him at a tournament.
One ball, one strike on Tagan.
It was right there. It was right there.
You're talking about volleyball being
your gate, guys.
some of the games that are going to be coming up for Friday, July 25th. At 10:15 a.m. tomorrow, Friday, we got Ontario taking on Saskatchewan in under-19 boys volleyball. 11:15, we got under-19 boys volleyball, Alberta against Northwest Territories. Both live games on Friday.
2 balls, 1 strike.
And then a couple of exciting games coming up on Saturday.
You're there, Bear. You're there, buddy.
Single double by Tagan's going to bring in Kirk Bear. Put them up 16-1 over Yukon.
Saturday, July 26th, this coming Saturday, we have 9 a.m. a couple of gold medal games. I think you're doing some commentating for that. Under 19 girls softball, the gold medal game, and at 11:30 we got the under 19 boys softball gold medal game, both live here on Access Communications.
Bubble.
Robert Isaac is your batter for Saskatchewan. Got a couple runs in this inning. Nice snag by the first baseman there.
Very good.
Nice little pickup. Third baseman over to first. Give him 2 away. Tagan moves up to third base. Bringing the bat, leadoff hitter, Trent Ermine. Top of the order here.
Nice throw.
Keep using that word snag.
Snag, yeah. Usually a POO term, but for some reason I used it in softball. looks like on the outskirts of the ball field at this diamond. Oh, we got a pop fly.
We go pitch. We go, bud. Two strikes.
Of course, we got a real shout back from Carol Whitecap saying no more sea bears anymore. There's just too many at 3, so we won't bug her anymore. But glad that they're listening. Watching a great game between Team Saskatchewan and Yukon. 16-1 at the top of the 5th.
Did they get this duty at home? Did they get this duty at
What's behind us here? Coming to the volunteer tent.
The beautiful people in the production mobile managed to just about snap up that foul ball. At least they're getting a little bit of action back there other than the pressing of buttons.
Leadoff batter Ermine here strikes out Team Saskatchewan's top half of the inning. So that's going to take us into the bottom half of the 5th inning.
So is this where the...
They need to score quite a few runs, 8 runs.
Okay, or else there'll be a mercy
roll, yeah.
Right. So unless there's a big rally, we could see an end to this game fairly quickly, but you never know what happens. You never know. You just can't automatically say it'll happen.
If they decide to get 10 runs, then maybe not.
One of the cousins of the Res dogs laying down there, taking in the nice weather we're having today. Great fans we have here. People looking at some good offense by the Team Sask batters. Team Ontario getting ready, doing some warming up on the outside of the ball diamond here, plus Eastern Dorna North will start to get ready, and they will look at making sure that they are ready for what should be an exciting game.
Over on the other diamond, we have under 16 boys action. Manitoba 1, Ontario 1 in the bottom of the 3rd right now. So under 16 boys, Manitoba and Ontario are tied up at 1, bottom of the 3rd inning.
One of the things that's really tough about getting, the field ready, of course, is the city people that take the time to make sure the diamonds are ready for every game. It takes a little bit of time to do that after each game. So even though we're supposed to start at 2 o'clock, what'll end up happening, it's 2:15 already. It'll be backed up for the 2nd game, and we'll go live as soon as they do their cleanup and get us ready for the EDN Ontario game. Evan, it was interesting. I got, I don't know if April sent you the email as well. When we were looking at the opening ceremonies, the live broadcast that was broadcast online as well saw 658 people in Canada, 312 people in the United States taking the opening ceremonies, 32 unknown countries. I guess there's certain ways that you're able to track that. 4 from the Netherlands, 3 from Australia, 2 from Aruba, 1 from Barbados, Peru, United Kingdom, and Mexico. Might be my bro in Mexico. I'm just kidding. For a total of 1,015 people that were able to take in the opening ceremonies online at myaccess.ca/NAIG. And then, of course, when we took when we took part in softball a couple of days ago. They got some numbers back. People that visited the site, people that were listening. We had numbers ranging from visits of starting off with 85 streams. And that's around 15 minutes being watching online. At 2 o'clock, we had 393 watching online. At 3, we had 385. 423, 308. So we have some really strong numbers of people that are really interested in watching the games online. And from my understanding, I've never seen this with the North American Indigenous Games, the ability to bring in technology to bring these games to our communities and to our families. And again, hats off go out to Access Communications and all the hard work that they do to make this happen.
Yeah, for sure, Lyle. The people that host the next games sure have big shoes to fill.
Absolutely. It's especially in the technology-wise and being able to share with North America what will be happening at those games.
Time and hope with the walk there for UConn, standing on first base. Bringing it back. Brett Skookum, your catcher.
For some of you people who are watching at Cable 7 in Regina, don't be afraid to come out to the Diamonds or go to any sporting event. It's free to everybody, so don't be afraid to take the time to take in some of the action all over Regina with all the different teams from all over North America.
Two strikes on Skookum, the batter.
Bottom of the fifth, 16-1, Saskatchewan ahead of Yukon.
Bubble! Polk there, just protecting on his plate.
Big shout out to the North American Indigenous Games volleyball squad that came on to Twitter. You know, what makes these games is not only the athletes and the young people, but without the volunteers, we would not have a games at all. Regina and Saskatchewan has been seen as the volunteer capital of the world, not just Canada, not just North America, but we have the best volunteers around. And we're pretty lucky to be able to put these games on with the important people to actually do all the logistical stuff that is needed to make these games happen.
Skookum with a nice single up the middle there. Give the two runners on, why not? Things are looking positive right now for Team Yukon.
So also I wanted to give people an update in between wrapping up or on the verge of finalizing this game. Team Saskatchewan has 28 medals, or 28 gold medals, 35 silver, and 22 bronze at 85 medals. In second place, making a big move to yesterday and today, British Columbia with 28 medals, 28 gold medals, 27 silver, and 24 bronze for 79 total medals. Ontario, Team Ontario, 22 gold, 19 silver, and 11 bronze for third spot with 52 medals. Eastern Door had an early lead, but has been dropping a little bit in fourth place. Manitoba, Newfoundland and Labrador, Northwest Territories, Wisconsin, Washington with 11, New Brunswick with 6. The Yukon has 5. Nova Scotia with 5. Team Alberta with 2. I should say 3 medals.
Yeah, I'm good.
Team New York with 3 medals.
Yeah, just right off the club, man. I'm good. Yeah.
And we'll give you
We'll give
you guys updates when they come in.
Hey, no, that's okay, man. Foul tip, it's gonna go anywhere, right?
2 balls. 2 strikes. Glad it goes down swinging. A little bit out of the strike zone. Let's see those rise balls with the video.
1 out at the bottom of the fifth inning here. 16-1, Saskatchewan ahead of Yukon.
Chris McKay is the batter for Yukon.
And we got runners on second and first, trying to mount some type of a rally here to not give up. Which I like. I like what Yukon's doing. Not giving up and making and sticking at it.
Two strikes. Yep. Strike three.
Strike three on the bunt attempt for the second out.
McKay goes down with a bunt attempt. Strikeout.
Coming to the plate for team.
Two out, bottom of the fifth.
Yukon is down to their last out of the game here unless they score a whole bunch of runs.
Tristan Undershoot. Undershoot is from the Carmacks, north to Shawnee.
Come on! Double!
Takes a swing at it, low ball.
A little bit.
Undershoot's the leadoff batter for Yukon, so he's been in there swinging all game. Pop up there. That's a foul.
Try to take out our cameraman in right field there. But with his Jedi-like reflexes was able to catch it, get it back in play. A little bit of a wind picking up.
Here you go, bud. Riley.
Ball game.
Good job, buddy. It's the game, guys. That's the game.
We have a final. 16-1, Saskatchewan over Yukon. Great showing by Yukon. They should be very proud of themselves. They done a great job at bringing their young people all the way from Yukon to participate non-traditionally in Yukon in softball, and we should be all proud of these team members. They played their hearts out, and Saskatchewan, with obviously always a strong, dominating team in softball at any age, has continued their dominating spirit that they have in fastball and picked up another W.
Yeah, definitely Saskatchewan now bringing their record to 2 wins, 1 loss. Yukon bringing their record to 0 wins, 3 losses, looking more at the consolation side. But at the end of the day, you know, Yukon's just a winner being here, bringing the boys out, playing a really strong team in Saskatchewan.
Coming up, we have Eastern Door in the North, and again, for you people who are watching on Cable 7 HD on Cable 70, or watching online at myaccess.ca/NAIG, we will see Eastern Door in the North take on Team Ontario, and of course we'll give you some play-by-play live broadcasting here. We're going to take a little bit of a break and let the crew manage the field and let the teams warm up, and we'll be back in a bit to bring you live broadcasting on Access Communications, your home for North American Indigenous Games action throughout the North American Indigenous Games. Thank you.